Welcome into Collegiate Sports Connect. I'm Brian Fisher with D1 Ticker. Pleased to be joined by Troy AD Brent Jones. And Brent, busy time for you this time of year. I know you're in the middle of the coaching search and you ended up getting your guy, but I do want to take you back just a little bit to that decision to let go of Chip Lindsey after that Appalachian State loss. Following 3 years in charge, you used to be able to wait until the end of the year in order to make that decision on a coach or on a program. But that's not been the case in 2021, as we've come to see. What was that decision-making process like, not just for you, but involving your university leadership, your donors on making a big decision like that?
Well, first off, thank you for having me on. Been a big fan of the D1 Ticker as well as Connect. I'll tell you this. In college athletics, you have to evolve. You have to stay up with trends. And because of the early signing day period, it really made it, you see this now, I believe it's 15, almost 20 in-season changes. And so because of that, but that really didn't dictate what Troy had done. And so we have a long history, 100 years of playing football, over 80 plus winning seasons. So in the last 25 years, we've been Division I. And so we've won 6 conference championships, 8 bowl games. And going back to 2016, 17, and 18, 31 wins in a 3-year period. And so obviously did not have the success that we had in 19, 20, and 21 with only 15 wins. So we knew this year 3 of Coach Lindsey was going to be a big year for us. And the expectations at Troy are to compete for conference championships. And so you look, as we went through that period, we played Louisiana and then we played Appalachian State. And at that point, the decision was made. And I will tell you this, you don't make it in a vacuum. I have an amazing CEO, one that I think is the best in Division I, Chancellor Jack Hawkins Jr. He's been here for 33 years. He has risen Troy University athletics from Division II to Division I AA to Division I A as part of it. And so with his vision, and you have to be completely aligned, whether that be the board at your institution, as well as the university, key stakeholders such as donors, fans, letter winners, whatever that may be. What I would offer is you just have to be aligned. And the one thing that Troy University offers is 100% buy-in and 100% alignment with our leadership and administration.
Well, you mentioned alignment between school leadership, certainly the AD, the coach being key to success. And I think that's something that a lot of people talk about because you had such a very extensive process with so many rounds of interviews. Did that maybe pull some of those groups even more onto the same page than you would have been if you'd done a quick search, maybe using an external search firm or whatnot?
Correct. So we did not use an external search firm at all. I have great respect for all of them and what they do, but that's just not something that we felt that would fit our needs and our model here. And so as we went through this process, I would tell anybody, you need to have a plan because things are going to come at you very, very quick. And so we had a very, very detailed plan, probably 2-3 weeks ahead of time. On what we were going to do if we had to make that move. You never want to make that move. It's not an exciting move to make. It's painful. You've been with this person for 2, 3, 4, whatever, how many years you've been in the bunker with them, and you want to be successful. And so, but also at the same time, you have to be a realist, and leaders lead. And so you have to make tough decisions. And so I had a plan for about a month before about what we would do. And so when I had that conversation with Coach Lindsey, it was very respectful. And so next thing you know, you name an interim coach. Immediately after that, met with the team, introduced the interim coach, and then I went to work. And so we had 1 week left, which was Thanksgiving, that week of Thanksgiving. And so what I really did is I was able to pare down. You talk about an extensive, exhaustive, collaborative, diverse candidate pool. We had 50 targets, narrowed it down to 25, and then I set up 15 interviews, each one ranging from an hour to an hour and a half. Had 6 of those over Thanksgiving while I was at my family's house in Atlanta. And the reason why that's important is that was a day that most of the coaches had off that afternoon. So to be able to have 6 or 7 that day going into the next, but really had 15 targeted interviews, then knocked that down to about 8 or 10 Zooms, and then made another cut of the finalists with 5, and then made a cut to 4 we're able to do. And so it was an 11-day process. It was full engagement with my chancellor, Chancellor Jack Hawkins Jr., as I stated before, with having alignment and keeping him updated. We used a screening committee. And so what that committee did is I was able to bounce ideas off them. And so they sat in the room with the finalist. But backtracking before that, what I felt like was so crucial and critical was I spoke to the team twice. I asked them to trust me. I'm a former college baseball player. I've had coaching changes. I have the empathy. I've been there where they are. Trust me, we're going to get the right person. But I asked them at the same time, what would you like to see? I got with the leadership council. What would you like to see? What are our attributes? Where are we having success? Where are we having failures? What would you like to see? What are those characteristics you'd like to see in our next head football coach? Also, we spoke with the athletic policy board of trustees group as well. And then also I set up a letter winners group. So we have about 700 letter winners emails on file, sent it out the day before, was able to have over 75 for about a 90-minute session, I believe, and really was able to gain a ton of feedback. Also, I did a SWOT analysis. I did a SWOT analysis on Coach Lindsey's tenure, as well as Coach Brown's tenure and Coach Blakeney's tenure, and what made everyone successful, where we were in the Sun Belt Conference. And as you're aware, the Sun Belt Conference is only going to get stronger with the additions of Southern Miss, Marshall, ODU, and JMU. And I had the privilege of sitting on the expansion committee, the recommendation. And so I know how good those schools are. And we really think that the Sun Belt Conference, while it might not be the most resourced revenue conference, it's going to be the most competitive conference, and that's what we're looking for. And so we're excited about those new additions. But what I was able to do is speaking with our letter winners, speaking with our donors, speaking with our fans, speaking with our athletic policy committee, speaking directly with Chancellor Hawkins, we were able to build a very, very deep and thorough candidate profile. And that was our true north. That was our North Star. We knew exactly what we wanted to do. And so we knew we needed someone with energy, vision, passion, someone who had connection to the South, who has recruited the South, had great ties to the state of Alabama, could compete at a high level, a proven winner, and someone who could really be able to put a stamp on this program and build an identity. And so that's what we were able to do with that process.
Now, normally I would ask you how you actually made the hire, but I know because you actually had posted a video of you calling Coach Sumrall and extending the offer, which was great to see on social media. Certainly a fantastic emotional moment. But how long had you been thinking about, all right, I know I got my guy, and I'm going to make sure that the fan base understands how he got the job?
Well, I would tell you this. I went into this process, and I went into the process the day of the actual interviews where there was no clear front runner whatsoever. And so because of that, I believe in competition. I believe in people, rising to the challenge. And so, but what I wanted to do is to have a very, very robust rollout plan of our head coach, whoever that may be. And so it really started with social media. And obviously I've worked in college athletics 20 plus years. I've been an AD for 3 years now. And so my background is marketing, sales, communication, fundraising, revenue generation. And so really dip back into that. But also, I would say you have to have trust in your staff to be able to put a plan together. You have to be able to have that vision because the hard work, everyone has congratulated in our hire of Coach Sumrall has been very, very well received by our fans as well as by national media. Adam Rittenberg gave us an A-, one of the top group of 5, as well as one of the top hires this hiring cycle. But at the same time, the hard work doesn't just stop when that offer comes out. You need to have a plan, an implementation plan for your fans. And so one of those obviously was the social media video. It's very touching. I got a little choked up because I knew how special it was going to be for him, but then to be able to go out there. And so not only did we have that, so we released that Thursday night as the negotiations went with him, his agent, as well as himself. We were able to finally get that and release that to the national media, to our fans. And then the next day on Friday, we announced a football excellence campaign, raise $100,000 by December 31st, $250,000 by April 15th. We're off the charts with that. And so that was really to be able to capture the momentum, the passion of our fan base. And what it's really allowed us to do, and I had this plan, we were going to release it on Thursday. That's when we were going to have the hire released if we could get to the terms, and we were able to. Friday, we're going to release the development fundraising campaign on Friday. Saturday, obviously, national TV. It's conference championships from the SEC to the ACC to the Sun Belt Conference, Conference USA, everybody in between. And they're talking about this hire. And then on Sunday, we have our coach come back with his family. And on Monday, we have a press conference. So we were really able to win the day for about 4 days and carry the news cycle here, especially in Alabama, as well as college football. But then going even further with our great communication staff and marketing staff is billboards across the state from Montgomery South. So it's called the Wiregrass, had over 100 different billboards with Coach Sumrall's face on it, letting everybody know about it. We had almost 400 people at our press conference. It was simply outstanding, one of the largest press conference, or the largest press conference that I have seen and been part of. And then he went to work. And so we have to be very diligent about that, building a staff, talking to the players, as well as really connecting with our fans. And so what he's been able to do is we had a laundry list of about 10 different radio interviews that he needed to knock out, as well as print. And so he was able to do that on the road recruiting. And so those 4 days now have turned into 10 days. And so we're just continuing to stretch that out. And then next week after signing day, what we're going to be able to do is really have him engage with some of our donors as well as our fan base to try to keep that narrative going, keep that excitement going for almost 30 days.
I mean, was that rollout kind of something that you did in parallel with the search? I mean, were you constantly thinking about it as you were still interviewing candidates? Were you talking with your staff members? I'm curious what even ideas that some of your department heads might have had in terms of the rollout that you thought that's a great idea. Let's run with that.
Absolutely. Very collaborative, open process from our communication staff, as well as our external and marketing, social media. And so we had everything on standby, ready to go. But at the same time, I think you're always constantly looking, constantly thinking about different things. Oh, I saw this school do this. What if we did this? Hey, I don't like this. I do like this. Let's go. And so one of the things that I try to foster is, and I believe in this, is not necessarily a vertical approach, but more of a horizontal structure. And so because of that, it really fosters a lot of creativity, fosters a lot of collaboration. And so our plan, our staff brought a ton of energy, passion, and thoughts about what we wanted to do. And so I vetted them all, and then I brought a lot to them as well and said, hey, this is what I really want to do with the billboards, with the email, with the splash page. Let's do the development excellence campaign. Let's be able to make sure that we're doing this. And so because of this, our development staff has been on the road the last week. They knew the timeline of when we wanted to get a coach in. And because of that, they were able to set up meetings ahead of time, not knowing who that candidate would be at all, but then be able to have a ton of success with this. And so I will tell you this, we have, from social media to traditional media to communications, marketing, billboards, non-traditional, whatever that may be, as well as revenue. We went on sale with season tickets as soon as it happened as well. And so we have a ton of new season tickets. I don't know the actual number right now, but I will tell you this. We're sold out of suites for football, and we have a waiting list. That did not happen last year. We had 4 open last year, and now we have a waiting list. And so I need to really be able to figure out how we're going to really be able to meet the demands of our fans for our premium sales. And so yesterday, again, really trying to peel back behind the curtain. So yesterday I walked the stadium. We have a partnership with Four Tops, which is a great company that allows you to be able to have really to be able to have open space and make it a premium. And so we have this Bud Light premium lounge is what we did this year. And so we had 6 tables. We sold out of that in about 3 weeks. And we have a demand now. And so to be able to figure that out. So I walked around yesterday with our assistant AD of ticket ops, and we looked at different places. And so we found 8 different places we could do some more premium tables. And so because of that, we're going to do that. We also have one with tailgate guys. And so you can actually tailgate inside it. We sell tents inside. So we're looking at every available option to meet our fans' demands for revenue as well as premium seating. And this hire has excited them. And now it's our staff's job to be able to bottle that up and keep the momentum going for the next 6 to 9 months.
When you talk about making a hire, usually it is coming off maybe a little bit disappointment in terms of the actual record and whatnot, but there are high expectations there at Troy because of that history of success. What has been the reaction between some of those donors who maybe you didn't engage with initially? Some of the folks you mentioned the ticketing sales being off the charts. I would imagine that's great to see, but has it maybe even exceeded your expectations?
Our fans are hungry. Our fans are passionate. They're hungry. We've played football for 100 years, and so because of the success that we've had, 3 national championships, I believe we have 34 or 35 conference championships just in football throughout our history, 8 bowl games, 6 Sun Belt Conference conference titles as well. And so beaten 5 Power 5, now 6 Power 5s with Cincinnati going in. Look, our fan base is outstanding. We finished second this past year in attendance in the Sun Belt Conference, and yet we finished overall 5-7. 3 of the last 5 years, we've led the conference in attendance. Our in-game atmosphere has been ranked as the best in the Sun Belt Conference, and we really spend a lot of time, a lot of energy being transparent, open, collaborative with our fans, from pregame tailgates that we've been able to tailgate concerts that we've been able to do for the last 5 years now, to having a beer zone outside. It's a fun, engaging atmosphere that we do, and we do surveys as part of it. But our fans' response, they're hungry, they're passionate, and they want to win. And so to be able to see that really be able to manifest in this hire has been simply outstanding. And what's great about it is I'm a data-driven analytics guy, and I am able to see from social media, from website traffic to mentions in traditional media, as well as online, as well as revenue, ticket sales, and premium opportunities, that everything is trending up. And that's outstanding to see. And so I think our fan base is very excited about this.
A lot going on with the Trojans. I would say get some sleep, Brent, but I know that you still got a lot left on your plate. Thanks for joining us.
Well, I'll also tell you this: in the middle of a football search, I was also going through a soccer search. So we're about to land that victory plane pretty soon. So we had dual searches going on at the same time. So I appreciate it.
A lot on your plate. Thanks for joining us again.